So today I sit before you to discuss uh, holistic ways to be healthy, to be at a healthy weight. It is important to keep our body very healthy. It is a tool with which we accomplish everything in this world. Even if we are following a path of spirituality or meditation, even then it's very important for our body to be very healthy. Yeah, so that is something we all have to pay attention to. We can say that the focus on health has become twisted a little bit in our society, wherein losing weight and weight loss strategies to lose weight or being this ultra thin, ultra slim has become so very overwhelming. And when I meet people and I find that they struggle with it so much with the body image that they would like to have. And it causes them a lot of distress. And even people who are otherwise at a good weight, they still want to be slimmer or they want to look like something that they are not. So that struggle goes on. So I feel to be free of that struggle, we have to understand a little bit from where this struggle comes from. Who gives us this idea that this is the correct shape to be in? This is the good way to look, and the rest is unacceptable. So we have to understand that how our society is. It's a materialistic society based on commercial gain. So when they want to sell us something, they want to tell us that there is something that we are lacking. And so we would like to buy that thing. And it seems to us that if we buy into that theory, we'll be happier. So the basis of it would be I don't look good just like I'm looking right now, and I have to get something or I have to get somewhere to look good. So we are showered with these images of models or actors who are the super thin or who look like that, the muscles made in a certain way, or they're dressed up in a certain way. And so when we are showered with these images, and when we see these images are the ones who look really happy and the ones who look really popular, so automatically we want to be that. And a huge pressure builds up. It seems to us that somebody would like us or people would appreciate us only when we look like this. Right? So any action which is coming from that kind of feeling insufficient within us or lacking in something within us, that action can never be nourishing. So the first step to be healthy, to be at a healthy weight, is to start loving yourself just as you are. So we have to go into that process wherein we are able to accept ourselves just as they are, just as we are. So one simple exercise would be that you look into the mirror and you tell yourself that I love you and I accept you just as you are. Just saying that to yourself and keeping it as a daily practice. So statements made in the present tense, they're very powerful and they go on to change the negative thinking patterns that we have developed within us. So there is this critical voice telling us that, oh, this doesn't look good or that doesn't look good. Or, oh God, you ate so much. You weren't supposed to eat this. So when we replace it with supportive statements and loving statements, so we start that journey towards actually being healthy. So this is the first thing that you need to do, which is very easy thing to do. But when you do it, the voice might say to you, it's not true, or no, no, you don't look good and you don't deserve this. But you just ignore that voice and just go on with that exercise at least for 40 days and see how you feel. So I think then we have to come to this notion that food, our relationship with food, it seems to us, and that's how we believe and how we think things are, that food is needed to feel energized. I'll be able to work when I eat that much. So sometimes more food can be related in our brain to more energy. Seems to be this fuel that we put into our bodies. So our bodies, as they are programmed, do need food, but many times we are overfeeding ourselves, right? So, like 2 meals can be completely sufficient for us, but we would go on to have 3 meals because we're programmed to have 3 meals. Every body has its own requirements, and I feel that a diet regime which is imposed on everybody uniformly will never work because every body is different. So you have to experiment with your own eating timings, with your own the things that you eat to see what feels good to you. And you can take that as also as a process. Okay? So eating food, it is again, one would be that we feel that it gives us energy. And the second main reason for eating is emotional eating or stress based eating. So whenever we feel stressed out, many of us reach out to this food to soothe ourselves. So food is a whole pharmacology of drugs. It has chemicals in it which help us calm ourselves or go into a better mood. Like chocolate, if you see, it just lifts up mood. Many food, caffeine, it gives us that trust. And many times just chewing, when we chew with force, it helps us to release the anger that we have holding. And if we start observing ourselves, so I would invite you to maybe a 30 or a 40-day process in which just we observe ourselves that when we are eating, if we are snacking, so what happened before that? So you can follow a very simple principle that when this thought occurs to you that yes, I want to eat something, you can just pause for whatever is possible for you, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Just pause and just observe yourself, how you feel, right? And after that, you still feel like eating that. Go ahead and eat it, but eat it with consciousness. So I would invite you to form one rule in your eating behavior that when you're eating, eat quietly. There's no TV running. There's no, you're not reading a book. And even the next level would be that there is no conversation when you're eating. So you're just sitting and eating. So if you want to reach out to this food and eat it, and it's not even your meal time, it's okay, go ahead and eat it, but just eat it quietly. So whenever we make any process conscious, we start becoming free of that compulsive eating, right? So that is the path to freedom. Okay. So we are going into a relationship with food, and when we have emotional issues and to calm ourselves, we are eating, we have to go into the process of resolution of those emotions. So when we feel good, we don't feel so much the urge to eat, overeat. Okay. And we will be sufficiently satisfied with the little portions that we are eating. Okay. So bringing consciousness into the food process is something that I would strongly suggest. I would strongly suggest everyone to be vegetarian because with the food that we eat, it is not only it's just that material that we are eating. We are also, if we are eating an animal, we are also consuming the pain that that animal suffered. It is the cell memories are there. inside the animal. And when we are consuming them, we are consuming all of those emotions. And it would only escalate our emotional issues or the karmic load that we are suffering. So I would encourage everyone to be vegetarian. And then when we are vegetarian, then another layer that we can go into is that eating more raw food. So raw food has higher prana, higher energy. Then also it lifts our energy up, it fills our stomach, and then we don't overeat. Cooking fresh food and eating it fresh is, I feel, a very, very important thing to do. We should not eat stale food, and we should also not eat processed foods. So avoiding processed food as much as possible and eating fresh food. And that food also, so when we are cooking the food, the bhav of the emotions, the feelings of the cook are also going into the food. That is why we talk about the maa ke haath ka khana, when the mother is cooking for us. When mother cooks with so much love, that also love goes into the food that we are eating, and that food is very satisfying to us. So what we are eating, how we are cooking it, and what is the process that we are eating is very, very important. Food is so central to our lives. We are what we eat. Yet, how much attention have we paid to what we are eating, how it is made, how we are consuming it? So, it is time that we pay attention to these things. Another very important factor I'd say uh, is to remember that when we are eating food to gain energy, there's another source of energy which, when we fill ourselves with, our need to eat drops dramatically. And that source is the energy around us, the energy in the universe. It might seem as an abstract notion, but you can test it. You can meditate for 40 days for at least half an hour daily, and you can see the results of it, as in you would feel more energetic and the urge to eat would be much less. There are people who live on the prana and do not even feel the need to eat anything. So it is possible to charge our body with that energy and feel so energized that we do not fill ourselves up with food that we do not need. Fasting is very useful also. And there's a technique called intermittent fasting, which is very becoming popular these days. And that involves eating maybe the last meal of the day around 8 o'clock or at whatever time. And the next day, you might skip the breakfast and have the first meal at whatever time is comfortable, convenient, 12 or 1 p.m. So it involves fasting for like from night till the noon next day or 2 p.m. next day. So fasting gives the body a pause, a break, a rest, and it rejuvenates the body. I would also recommend fasting once a week on juices or on a liquid diet, or even having nothing, just water during the day. So that gives a much needed rest to the digestive system. And Ayurveda, many times it talks about that so much of healing just takes place when we uh, fast and when we let our body rest. So fasting is a technique, but we have to figure out that what kind of fasting is comfortable for us. So if like your thing is that you must have breakfast, just go ahead and have breakfast. And maybe you would like to skip lunch and go ahead and have dinner. So you have to figure out for yourself what is most convenient for you and that most comfortable for you. And you will realize it only when you observe yourselves. So to be at a healthy weight, we have to first, the root of it has to be that we accept ourselves just as we are at this moment. So if we start our work from that I am fat and I am bad and I have to lose this weight to look good, it's a very counterproductive mechanism. So I really do not think that the gyms and the diet plans which work from this notion that we have to lose weight would, benefit somebody in long term. And that is why many times people lose weight and it just all comes back, right? So start with loving yourself, start with focusing on that, the liking, the the good in you. I like this thing about myself or that thing about myself. That liking and love will grow and your body will become healthier and healthier. It's an easy path. Easy is good. You don't have to struggle to reach somewhere. You'll always be able to reach easily, and that joyous journey would make it worth it. So give yourself that joy and know that it's always working out every moment. Thank you for listening in, and do subscribe and like and comment and share your views. And if you want to know more about meditation or about the emotional resolving that I talked about, do listen to my other videos and there's more information there. Thank you so much.